Welcome loves to blow up, where we dive into the juiciest, most unhinged stories from Reddit. Today we've got wild tales of toy-stealing family feuds, hidden debts derailing weddings, and parenting clashes over puberty. Are these Redditors heroes or villains? Grab a snack, smash that like button, and let's jump into the chaos. About a month into their relationship, Vivian got pregnant with my nephew who is now almost a year old. Vivian also has two daughters, 5F and 8F, from a previous relationship. Her daughters are very close in age to my daughter, 7F, and up until last weekend everyone got along fine. They live in a different state than us but come to visit fairly often and stay with us because we have the extra room. Last weekend they came to stay again, and about an hour before they left my daughter noticed that a few of her favorite toys were missing. The girls were playing all weekend, so I didn't think much of it and offered to help her look for them. After about 20 minutes of searching we could not find the toys anywhere, so I asked Vivian's girls if they remembered where they were playing with them last. The girls said no but acted a little guilty about it. I asked Chase and Vivian about it, and Chase said he saw the exact toys in the room that Vivian's girls were sleeping in. We went to check and they were not there. He asked Vivian if she had moved them when she packed the girls' things that morning, and she said they were not there. We went back into the living room and I saw Vivian's girls huddled close together over a backpack and quickly closed it when they saw we were there. Chase asked the girls again if they knew where the toys were, and this time they didn't say anything and just looked at their mom. Chase reached for the bag and Vivian lost it. She started yelling at me how dare I accuse her daughters of stealing, and she tried to snatch the bag away. Chase opened it and there were the missing toys plus a few more. I was absolutely furious. I told her I wanted to see what else she had and demanded she open the two suitcases. She said that was an invasion of her privacy and tried to take them and leave. Chase stopped her and made her open them. She had taken several tops, a few skirts and dresses, and a brand new pair of Nikes that belonged to my daughter. I took everything back and told her she and her girls were not allowed back into my home. I have since received several texts from her and a few unknown numbers telling me I embarrassed her and upset her girls because they were promised the items. Chase is upset with her but said I was too mean to her in front of everyone and that I could have handled the situation more privately. I do feel awful that her girls left crying, but AITAH for how I handled the situation? Answers to a few questions I keep getting. I am not sure who promised the girls the items. She would not elaborate, but I'm assuming it was her. She wanted me to pull her aside into a different room away from Chase and the kids to talk the situation out. Also, yes, I'm 99% sure the baby is his. He is almost a carbon copy of my brother when he was a baby. I do not believe the girls knew they were stealing the things. I really believe that their mom told them I said it was okay. We have never had problems with the girls before this. They really seem to be good kids. Also, I'll be talking with my brother tonight or tomorrow to discuss things further. I will be speaking with my brother in about an hour. I have been in contact with someone that knows her and a lot has come to light. I will not be able to tell you all everything, but I can tell you that my brother and nephew are now staying with us while he gets a DNA test and proceeds to cut ties with her. I may have more to give you all in the coming days or weeks depending on what the paternity test says. Again, thank you all so much. Vivian thought she could swipe toys, clothes, and Nikes like it's a free flea market? Getting caught red-handed and banned? That's a masterclass in karma. Would you have checked the bags like she did or handled it more privately? Have you ever caught someone stealing from you? Share below. From family theft to parenting disputes. I'm 32F, my husband is 31M. We have a 6-year-old son, Leo. He's a sweet, curious kid who's really into dinosaurs and loves riding his little blue bike. Last weekend, I went grocery shopping while my husband stayed home with Leo. Apparently, Leo was outside riding his bike and left it in the front yard while he went inside to get water. A few minutes later, our neighbor, Ms. Robert, came over saying her grandson, 8M, saw Leo take his bike. My husband looked out, didn't see Leo's bike and assumed the worst. He confronted Leo, who insisted he didn't steal anything. He said his bike was gone. My husband didn't believe him and told him he was grounded, no TV, no tablet until he told the truth and apologized. Leo refused, saying, I didn't take anyone's bike. Why are you punishing me when I didn't do anything? Later that afternoon, Ms. Robert returned, visibly embarrassed. Turns out her grandson had taken Leo's bike to the park because he thought it looked cooler. He made the whole story up to avoid getting in trouble. When I got home, my husband explained the situation. I figured, okay, you'll apologize to Leo and this will be a learning moment. But nope, he doubled down. He said Leo still needed to be punished for disrespect and refusing to obey. I said, so you want to punish him for telling the truth and standing up for himself? He said it's the principle. He needs to listen even when he doesn't agree. And I said, I'd rather raise a boy who knows how to stand up for himself than one who just lays down and accepts mistreatment. Especially when he's innocent. We got into a pretty heated argument. He says I'm being unreasonable and dramatic and undermining him as a parent. But I don't think I'm wrong for wanting to teach my son that it's okay to say no when something is unfair, even if it's coming from a parent. AITAH? Dad grounding Leo for telling the truth about his stolen bike? Moms, stand up for yourself. Speech is the parenting MVP move here. Would you have backed your kid like she did, or sided with the husband on obedience? Have you ever had a parenting clash like this? Share below. From parenting battles to apartment invasions. People around me are saying I am an but I need the perspective of uninvolved people. My long-term GF has my apartment keys as I have hers. Only unspoken until now but always respected rule was, if you need to go to the other place just send a text, hey going to your place. Doesn't matter if the other is at home or even responds. Just simply to tell the other you will be at their place. I was supposed to be away 700 kilometers from home for 2 weeks for work-related stuff, but 4 days in and our instructor got into an accident. Work tried to find another one, but no such luck on very short notice. They decided at like 10 p.m. to get us the first flight home the next day at like 6 a.m., pay us the overtime and the next day at home, then resume our normal work schedule. So I get home the next day at like 9 a.m., sent a text to my GF to tell her I am back. Getting to my door, I am very confused hearing children screaming inside since none of the people who have my keys have low kids like that, my brother and my GF. I thought I got squatters or something. Opening the door and I see my GF sister's kid running around after a shower, putting water everywhere. Plates of half-finished ravioli on my living room ground. Their suitcases opened in the entrance. I get inside and see the husband on my couch trying to hook up my PS2, that he must have digged out in my storage room. Getting into a verbal argument with him trying to understand why the fuck they are here. Said my GF told them they could get my flat for 2 weeks while I was gone, they wanted to visit the city for a bit, go to the beach. My GF sent me a text while I was arguing, telling me, oh okay by the way my sis fam, is at your flat. I admit I blew up on him and the sis who left my bedroom in the meantime. Told them to leave immediately. They argued quite a bit, my GF called her sis, then sis put up the speaker so we could all hear and she said I was embarrassing her, that she told them they could use my place for a while. I threatened to call the police, also asked my brothers to come. They left while cursing me to their children, telling that holidays are over because the mean little sister's boyfriend cast us out. I have now all of my GF family on my back and even some of my own family, saying I could have stayed with at my GF so the kids could have some vacations. Also, they have read my doctor prescription papers, I put them in a specific order and it was not the same, and obviously took some of my prescribed meds, opened a box of benzodiazepine. AITAH for making them leave? We pretty much stopped talking about anything else with my GF. I feel like I am being gaslight. I would never invite people to her apartment like that, especially without telling her. It seems so disrespectful. Am I going insane? GF hands out his apartment keys like it's a free Airbnb? Kicking out the ravioli dropping PS2 digging family? That's a landlord-level power move. Would you have kicked them out like he did or let them stay for the kids' sake? Have you ever had someone invade your space like this? Share below. From apartment squatters to neighborly squabbles. I honestly have no words. I, 27, just bought my house in July 2024. We have learned that most of the neighbors are all old as hell. I think these neighbors are 60s plus, and are very nosy and worry that young families are moving into the neighborhood in recent years. They will just walk up to you and tell you this. I have been shopping thrift and estate sales to furnish this cute house. This morning, I came home from an estate sale with a beautiful wing-backed rocking chair. It needs to be reupholstered as the leather that was on it is in terrible condition and the previous owner started pulling it off. I'm unloading it from the bed of my truck when neighbor Carol sticks her giraffe neck over the fence and starts squawking about how beautiful it is. I said thanks, I got it at an estate sale for $10. This triggered the parasites in her brain and she, I shit you not, teleported over to the truck. She starts going off about how much she needs a chair to rock her grandkids to sleep in and how much she would appreciate it if it was hers. I told her I got it for my future babies to be rocked to sleep in and that it still needs lots of work before it can be used. Mind you, this chair is large and she is very small. This is when she starts offering me money, $15, because it's more than what you paid for it, then telling me I don't need it because I don't have kids yet and her grandkids are only little for so long. After firmly telling her I wasn't interested in selling it, she offered me $20. I was standing in the bed of the truck looking down at her on the driveway and firmly said, no, Carol, I'm really not interested in selling this. Please go home. And pointed to her side of the fence. Apparently this was shouting at her and being aggressive. She ran home, and later in the day her husband said something to my husband as he was getting home from a game, telling him I spoke to her like a dog and was being a nasty neighbor, and that my husband needs to straighten me out. Are my neighbors nuts? Was I that rude to her? I tried to attach a photo of the chair, but I can't attach it on this community. I meant no offense when I said old as hell. I know that 60 is only halfway through a lifetime. I was trying to paint a caricature of who Carol and our other neighbors are. There is something really wrong with the folks in the cul-de-sac. Carol teleporting for a $10 rocking chair and whining when she's told no? Telling her to go home was kinder than she deserved. Would you have stood your ground like she did, or sold the chair to avoid drama? Have you ever had a nosy neighbor like Carol? Share below. From rocking chair rants to wedding cancellations. It has been a tough few days for me after sharing my story here, but I feel like I owe you guys an update about me situation, so here it is. I am just a middle-aged man supposed to be getting married in a few months to my fiancée. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1, and for most of that time I genuinely believed we were on the same page about life values and most importantly honesty. For background, I've worked hard to build a stable financial foundation. I'm not wealthy, but I own my home outright, have no personal debt, and I've been saving and investing since my early 20s. It's been a priority for me, especially since my parents went through a nasty divorce that ruined both of them financially. About a month ago, while we were discussing wedding costs, I brought up a prenup. Not in a cold or controlling way, I just wanted to protect the life I've worked hard to build. I was upfront that I'd still be fair and the agreement wouldn't leave her with nothing. I expected an adult conversation. Instead, she immediately got defensive. She said things like, "So you're already planning for a divorce?" And I thought we trusted each other. I tried to explain it wasn't about trust, it was about transparency and mutual protection. But she shut it down completely. That's when red flags started popping up. She became evasive every time money came up, and I started noticing weird things: credit card offers in the mail, a few missed payments on shared expenses she said she'd cover, and lots of "I'll handle it later" energy. So I asked directly if she had debt. She admitted it. $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans. Not a mortgage. Credit cards. She said it accumulated over the years from unexpected expenses and a few dumb splurges, but she never told me about any of it until I forced the issue. I was stunned. We're about to merge lives. This woman was about to legally become my spouse, and she didn't think I deserved to know she was 6 figures in the red? I told her this made the prenup non-negotiable for me. I need to protect myself not just emotionally but financially. I told her I was willing to still move forward, but not without something in writing that protects my premarital assets. She lost it. Called me selfish. Said I was turning love into a business deal. Said my house and money should be hers too if we're truly a team. Since then she's refused to talk about the prenup again, and we're barely speaking. Even her mother called me and accused me of humiliating her daughter and being materialistic. All I want is to not be liable for debt I didn't create, and to make sure the life I built before this relationship is protected. So now I'm seriously reconsidering the whole wedding. Not because she has debt, but because she hid it, then refused to take responsibility, and now is treating me like the bad guy for trying to protect myself. I'm almost certain that she could pay her debts since she is a part partner in her friend's business, but she just refuses to. AITAH for thinking about walking away? So I wasn't planning to come back, but a lot of people messaged me, and honestly, it's been a hell of a few days. Figured I'd give an update. So yeah, the wedding is officially off. After I posted, I tried one more time to talk to my fiancée, well, ex now. I told her I wasn't trying to be cold or controlling, I just needed to protect myself. I also said that if the roles were reversed, I'd completely understand if she wanted to do the same. I told her I could still move forward with the wedding if we signed a fair prenup. One that clearly said her debt is hers and my home/savings are mine if things go bad. I also said I'd go to therapy or counseling with her if this felt like a deeper trust issue. She didn't take it well. Said again that the prenup was an insult and I was basically planning for divorce. Then she started crying and said I was humiliating her and that I was destroying everything we had built over money. But that's the thing, it's not just about the money. It's about the fact that she kept a massive amount of debt hidden until she had no choice but to tell me. And even then she only told me because I pushed for it. That's not partnership, that's avoidance. So I told her I couldn't go through with it. I called off the wedding. It sucked. Still sucks. We told the venue, canceled what we could, and let people know. Her family is furious. Mine has been supportive but trying not to say I told you so. I've lost a lot of money deposits, suit some family flying in from out of state, but honestly, That's nothing compared to what could have happened if I had ignored my gut. She moved out 2 days ago. We've barely spoken. I keep second-guessing myself even now. I didn't want this. But I also don't want to wake up one day in financial ruin wondering why I ignored every red flag just to avoid hurting someone. Anyway, thanks for everyone who gave advice or just listened. I'm heartbroken, yeah, but I feel like I did the right thing. Doesn't make it easy. Just necessary. Fiancée hiding $92,000 in debt and throwing a tantrum over a prenup? Calling off the wedding was less a dodge and more a full-on sprint from disaster. Would you have canceled the wedding like he did, or tried to work it out? Have you ever discovered a partner hiding something big? Share below. From wedding woes to parenting standoffs. My wife, 39F, and I, 41M, have a 13-year-old son who recently came to me with a personal question. Was it okay for him to shave down there? I was surprised but stayed calm. I told him it was normal to want to feel clean or tidy and that body grooming is a personal choice. I made sure he wasn't feeling pressured by anyone and reminded him hygiene and safety come first. He asked if I could help him get a trimmer. I said yes. Later that night, I told my wife, thinking she'd appreciate how open he felt with me. Instead, she was upset. She said 13 is too young to be thinking about that, and that I was encouraging adult behavior. I told her it's not inherently sexual, it's about body comfort and ownership, and if we don't make it taboo, he'll be more likely to come to us about things in the future. She strongly disagreed and said I should have waited until they could both be present to talk about it. I explained it was a private moment between father and son and I didn't want to shame him or make him feel weird about asking. She said I went behind her back. This led to a bigger argument. She started questioning how we handle other topics like body image, puberty, screen time. She asked me to return the trimmer. I said no. I told her we need to be aligned, but I won't punish our son for being open and responsible. To be completely clear, we've always been open about bodies and development. But this seems to have triggered something deeper in her. She comes from a more conservative upbringing and has always been a bit anxious about our son growing up too fast. Since then, she's been cold with both of us. She told me she feels undermined. Our son has picked up on the tension and now feels awkward even talking about normal hygiene stuff. We're now in a bit of a standoff. I've tried to bring it up gently, suggested we talk with a therapist together about how we approach puberty topics, but she thinks I'm being too dramatic. Her sister, who has older teens, told her I did the right thing and that this isn't a big deal, but my wife thinks that's just modern parenting gone too far. So now I'm wondering, AITAH for supporting our son in a private grooming choice without looping in my wife first? Is she TA for reacting this strongly and creating shame around something that could have been handled with less drama? For what it's worth, I also told our son that if he ever feels uncomfortable or unsure about any body stuff, he can talk to either of us, and that we both love him no matter what. Mom freaking out over a trimmer like it's a tattoo gun? Dads, let the kid groom, stance is the chill parenting when we need. Would you have supported the son like the dad did, or sided with the mom on waiting? Have you ever clashed with a partner over parenting? Share below. From toy-stealing scandals to cancelled weddings and grooming debates, these Reddit stories were a wild ride. Who was the most justified, or the most dramatic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Got your own Reddit drama? Share it below. I'm hooked. Hit that like button, subscribe to blow up, and ring the bell for more internet chaos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.